Big screen this week in Rising Sun, an expensive, glossy thriller adapted from Michael Crichton's best-selling novel of the same name. Crichton, of course, was responsible for Jurassic Park, so it's been quite a year for him, even if both the book and film of Rising Sun ran into a storm of controversy over the supposedly racist content. To answer the novel's politically correct critics, director Philip Kaufman has toned down some of the more aggressive anti-Japanese sentiments and made alterations via the casting. A white character in the book, black actor Wesley Snipes now plays the role of Webb Smith, a detective who teams up with Eastern expert John Connor, played by Connery, to investigate the murder of a prostitute in the offices of a Japanese conglomerate. Of course, some people now feel that Crichton's story has been watered down, which just goes to prove that you can't please everybody. We spoke to Wesley Snipes, Hollywood's newest action hero, to find out his feelings on the subject.
It's unfortunate because everybody, people feel disenfranchised, you know, the first opportunity they get to, you know, yell and scream and say, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, they do it, even regardless of how ridiculous it is, you know, regardless of how irrelevant it is to the story, the book, or the movie, or whatever, you know. At least, you know, a lot of people want to be heard now.
We're still the police in our own country.
Built this building in 6 months. Put in prefab units from Japan and slapped them together here. Not one American worker will give this country away.
Nobody forced us to do it.
I think Phil Kaufman was rather conscious of the concerns, the racial concerns about the book, you know. And you know, you can't go wrong when you have Sean Connery in any role in your movie, you know.
When we arrive, you take charge of the negotiations. Don't bother to introduce me, don't refer to me at all, don't even look in my direction. Keep your jacket buttoned at all times. If they bow, you bow back, same depth, same duration.
Believe it or not, I have done this before. You know, I do know these things.
And do keep your hands at your sides. The Japanese find big arm movements threatening. I
went in there, you know, with hopes of gleaning as much as I could from Sean Connery. You know, I know he's highly respected. I've been watching his films since I was a boy. And, you know, you don't get a chance to, it's like a great craftsman, you know, you get a chance to work with a great sculptor or something like that, you know.
Richie! Mugshots, all of it! Oh, you cannot do this! No! You're to blame here! And you will give my detectives any assistance that they need. And I want the name of the person who discovered the body. Imaya!
Of course, Captain.
Maybe here, it's not as, you know, unique of a, you know, everybody seems kind of polite and dignified and, you know, you have this great accent and the whole kit and caboodle, but in the States, you know, we don't have a whole lot of cats who come across so cool, you know what I'm saying? You know, so refined, you know, and I think that's a lot of his appeal as well as being a consummate artist.
For Snipes, the trail of clues to the murderer is obscured by foreign traditions and technological trickery. While Connery sorts out the cultural confusion, Tia Carrere helps our boys crack the computerized cover-up.
What they probably did here was rock and roll. Print the same scene over and over to keep the pixels, the grain, alive. In other words, they removed whatever followed this guy's exit, and that made the discs the standard length.
So no one would suspect that anything was missing after that. But obviously...
Something happened after that that's been hidden from us.
We only had the original disc. We could see what really happened after that time.
Exactly. Catch on fast, Lieutenant Smith.
Webb. Yeah, I do.
Well, actually, I talked to Phil Kaufman and said, hey, man, you know, come on, let's get a guy a little bit more, something to do. I personally, as the actor, feeling like bored coming to work, you know. So he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, maybe, you know, we have a fight scene in here, you know. And it works with the characters because the senpai, who's Connery, he thinks he has the kohai pegged. I think he knows exactly where the guy is coming from. And then I pull out a, you know, rabbit out of the hat.
Keep eye contact at all times. And at all costs, don't lose your temper.
I don't lose my temper. Just step aside and have no trouble. This is police business. Well, seems like nobody's listening. Come on, come on.
I think think sometimes people forget that I've done films like White Men Can't Jump and, you know, Jungle Fever and Streets of Gold very, very early on, you know. Films where the guys were, you know, a lot nicer and, you know, very, very, very friendly. So I personally prefer doing the more complex characters.
It's safe around here.
You call this safe?
Senpai, rough neighborhoods may be America's last advantage. Now, if you hear me say, can I be of any assistance? It's too late.
Rising Sun is currently playing nationwide.
Listen, you lot, have a very nice day.
Thank you very much indeed. Nice, friendly face there. Now, despite recent health scares, you can see from the front of the Daily Express this morning, he's made it again.